As always, I have a lot to say, and I really want to have your questions as well. So feel free to chime in, and I'm happy to give my opinion and just help you go in the right direction. So today we are going to talk about how, thank you, I like that. Anywho, today we're going to talk about finding balance in our business, but also getting everything done. Really just accomplishing everything that we need to accomplish in a way that allows us to grow our business, but still enjoy our lives, right? Because as chefpreneurs, we have a lot to do and we wear a lot of different hats. So this is something that I definitely feel that my course helps you with. But I'm gonna say right now, there's a few of you out there who are members of my group who have purchased my course and who have decided not to do a few of the things that I've suggested. So, and that's your choice. You are a business owner and you can make those choices. So just because you get my course, you may decide to go about things differently, but generally when I'm teaching something, and the way that I teach owning a chef business is to do it in a simple but effective way. I really try to keep things simple and easy you as a solopreneur, you do wear a lot of hats. You have so many different responsibilities. Your work is never done. You don't get the days off in the traditional sense of a day off because there really are so many different responsibilities, but your time is different. Your time is more free. You have the flexibility to really live your life on your own terms and take vacations when you want to take them, or take a day off when you need to, or if you have to adjust your schedule, you can do that really easily. So those are the benefits, but you also have to learn to be really good at time management. So just like you guys, I have had to learn to manage that and to learn to be able to continue to grow my business and continue to manage all the responsibilities, but also be able to, have enjoyment in my life and manage all my, home life responsibilities. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And whether you're starting a business or you've been in the business for a while, you probably have this similar issue. So when you're starting the business, it can feel like you don't know where to start. So you can feel very overwhelmed and maybe like you can't get it all done. So does that sound familiar for you guys? If it does, give me a heart or a like, that you just maybe have so much you want to do and you don't know necessarily where to start. So that is one thing that the course does help you with, is it kind of bingo. Awesome, Todd. So yeah, that's totally normal, and it's just so common for people to really, they know what the end game is that they want. Like, where you want to be, probably. You have a better vision of that than how you're going to get there. And you really have to be able to kind of build that path and build that bridge to where you are now to where you want to go. So that's really what you want to think about. And when you think about starting out, you have to really, and this is really anytime, but prioritizing your tasks are so important. Being organized and strategic with what you're doing is so important. So planning and writing it out and being organized are crucial as a business owner. So it's very difficult to just kind of wing it. You have to be organized, and that is when it comes down to not only, your day-to-day tasks, your daily tasks, but, how are you going to be keeping your recipes? How are you going to be storing your menus? How are you going to be keeping track of communication with your clients? How are you going to be, getting their assessments to them and keeping those on file? There's so many different aspects of your business that you have to be organized in, that it's really important to think about all this ahead of time and to think about in the beginning, because if you set up a good strategy and a good system, then as you grow your business and as you build your business, it's so much easier to keep that ease and flow in there. You don't have those growing pains. So hopefully that makes sense of like starting out with a good strategy. So you wear a lot of hats, okay? If it was just about cooking, that would be a lot easier. But there's so many different aspects than just, the food and what you're making for your client. There is a dimension of this business where you are really, you are forming this relationship with your clients, if that makes sense. And you are running this business to grow it, to expand, to be successful. And you have to prepare the food, up to a certain level. So there's a lot of different parts that you have to put together, right? So you have to know your strengths and your weaknesses. Nobody is going to be good at everything. Nobody is going to be good at all of those things. I mean, even if you are, brilliant, if you're trying to do it all, you're going to be just burnt out. Something's going to fall. You're going to end up either like a dish will get burnt or, you'll miss calling back an important client. Is my experience primarily as a personal chef. For 18 years, yes. And I have 3.5 years of executive chef experience as well. So I ran a successful business for 18 years. And if you want to know more about me, definitely watch my webinar because I talk about my experience as a personal chef. I started my business in January 2000 and I ran it all the way. Well, I still occasionally do clients, but I ran it, all the way through the end of 2018, beginning of 2019. And in 2002, I was San Diego's best personal chef. Thank you. I appreciate that. So 2 years after I started my business, I was San Diego Magazine named me best personal chef. And I went on, I had a lot of media exposure. And I really grew my business. My personal chef business grew into more of a multi-dimensional. I did speaking and coaching and menu planning and consulting. I wrote a cookbook for a company called NutriP, where we did 150 recipes and 24 meal plans. So I was hired for many different things after my personal chef business was successful for many years. I would say, the bulk of my business from 2000 to 2012 was as a personal chef. And then from there, I grew it to do many other things. And then I took on some executive chef jobs for several years in healthcare. And then I decided to create this really to help people who need to pivot right now because our industry is suffering. And I really feel like people not only are they not getting paid what they're worth, but just the industry is changing and I want to teach people how to start their own business. So that is a little bit about my experience. But anywho, let's go back onto finding this balance. So what I was talking about is no matter how good you are, no matter how great of a business person you are, no matter how good of a chef you are, you can't do it all or it's going to come crumbling down on top of you. And, you're going to end up missing out on business or you're going to end up with a big tax bill or, something will happen. I guarantee it. You have to be able to find balance. And that is all leaders really have to be able to delegate and find balance and try to not do everything themselves. So I think that's a really important lesson. And I'm going to share a secret that I teach in the course. And I do share some of the things that I teach on these live streams, but obviously you get a lot of amazing things when you purchase the course. I give a lot of bonuses like my assessment, my service agreement, menus, pricing, and things like that. But there are things that I feel like are too important not to share, and this is one of them. So the funny thing is sometimes I share these things, and stress how important it is, and people still decide to do otherwise. For example, I've strongly suggested not filing as an LLC, and people still like to do that. So I want you to be prosperous. The name of my course is the Prosperous Personal Chef, and that is the goal. You could be an amazing personal chef, and you could your food could be fabulous, but you might not be prosperous. Being prosperous is different than being a good chef, and you have to really work smart and not just work hard. So what I want to share with you is, this is such an important thing. I hope that you guys take note that when you start your personal chef business or your chef business, one of the most important things that you really should do is you should go and find a good CPA. So I definitely put that in the very beginning of the course, but those of you who might have missed that with all the other information, go back, reread that part, because I explain why it is so important. And that might sound, does that sound expensive to you? Because sometimes just the word CPA or you hear that and it sounds expensive. But let me just, first of all, shout out to my CPA, Steve, right now, who has been with me since 2000. I think I literally, when I first started my chef business, it is a priority to get a good CPA and to make sure you talk to them and that you feel comfortable with them and that they're helping you, because first of all, you should only pay your accountant once a year. So that one time you pay them a year will literally just reap rewards throughout the year, because you'll be able to reach out and ask them if you have questions. How to file, in my opinion, you just file as a solo, file your DBA. It's in the, I teach all that in the course, but you just need to file your DBA and just file as a solo operator. So if you file as an LLC, I get into this a lot in my group and my course, but if you file as an LLC, let's put it this way. Let me ask, what would a sole proprietor, yes. If you file as an LLC, what is the reasoning for that? I'm just like asking those of you watching, because everybody thinks that's what you're supposed to do. So I'm just curious why people think that's what you're supposed to do. Like, what are the benefits of filing as an LLC? And also, do you know what the costs are of filing as an LLC? And what the costs are of filing as a sole proprietor, you just pay for your DBA? Do you know the risks? Do you know the rewards? Because if you don't, then you shouldn't be filing it, because it could be very expensive. I know in California, if you are filing an LLC, it's $800 a year, and that's whether you make a profit or not. So, that's quite a bit of money right off the top. And there is no benefit, because think about it this way. If you have a client, and let's say you start a fire in their house, are you going to walk away because you have an LLC? Are you going to say, sorry, I have an LLC. I don't have to worry about you anymore? No, you are going to want to do the right thing. So you're going to need to have liability insurance anyway. So there's really no benefit to filing an LLC. And that's something that you talk about with your CPA. I mean, I am not a CPA, and I'm not here to give you financial to cover yourself. How does that cover yourself? So yes, cover yourself, but then you still are out damages because you have lost your business, you have lost your clients. I mean, you need to have good liability insurance. And that's what's really going to save you in the end, regardless. If you are running a restaurant, if you are going into business with another partner, if you are going with a team of people, if you have a complicated situation, that's different. You might want to file an LLC, but if you are just just running your own business as a chef, you're making it a lot more complicated than it needs to be. And as I mentioned in the beginning, I just like to keep things simple because I want you to be prosperous and I want you to be stress-free. So we talked about you feel overwhelmed. How are you going to get it all done? You don't know where to start. So to save your business and separate your personal assets from your business assets. Yes. So the chances of your client suing you to take your home are extremely unlikely. But if you do want to cover yourself from that possibility and pay those taxes, then you definitely can do that. Hi, lovely. Yes, let's talk. I reached out to you, so let me know when you can chat. Yes, you can separate your business and personal assets. It's generally not needed if you're a sole proprietor. It's going to the extremes. And if you want to do it, you can. I just highly suggest against it. And I've done both. So I've had a business as an LLC for 8 years. And I had a business as a sole proprietor for 12 years. So at one point I had overlap, and it took me a long time to pay off the taxes on the LLC. And the paperwork and for if you are hiring a CPA, they're going to charge you more for a tax return with an LLC than they are with the sole proprietor. It makes a lot of things more complicated. So again, if you want to do that, you may want to do that. If you feel that you're going to be in a situation, yeah, you're welcome. Where you need it, that's your choice. I'm not going to give you financial advice on that, but I will tell you that if it's a situation where you have yourself protected with liability insurance, that is what's most important. And then you're protecting your stuff, but not only your stuff, your client stuff too, because your client's property is a lot of times what's really going to be affected, because most of the time you're not cooking in your home, you're cooking in your client's home. So, if anything ever happened, like let's say you set a hot pan down on their counter, you want to keep them as a client. You don't want to lose them as a client. So the liability insurance allows you to file a claim, get them reimbursed, show them that you care, but at the same time, you're protecting yourself for very inexpensive costs. So that's my thought. So definitely message me, lovely. And if you feel stuck, that's totally normal. I mean, first of all, your food is beautiful. I love seeing all your photos, and you just have a lot going on. Sometimes we just need to figure out the direction we need to take. So I'm happy to help you with that. And yeah, hopefully this helped a little bit. Just to kind of go over what we talked about, you definitely want to, when you look at all of the different things that you need to do, you need to prioritize, write it down, plan it out, schedule it out, be organized, and then ultimately know what you can and can't do. And then the things that you can't do, you need to outsource because nobody can do it all. So hopefully that helps. And if you guys have questions, leave them in the comments or let me know. And see, it's about 20 minutes now, so I'm gonna get going. And if that's all, nobody has questions, I'll wait a couple minutes. All right, well, hope you all have a great Wednesday.